Hey guys, so today I'm gonna be doing some painting. You're not gonna see what I'm painting though, because it is a surprise. So you guys will see that in the relatively near future, but this one is a surprise. So today I'm gonna be answering your guys' questions. You guys had a bunch of questions that you guys wanted to know. I asked on my Instagram and I said that I would be doing this video. Hopefully this setup is good enough. Got my nice camera out here, but you're far away with my microphone, so I think you'll be able to hear me. First question is someone said, how are you doing mentally and financially, etc.? And I think that's actually kind of a fun question because, I don't know. Financially, things are okay. Making it work, figuring it out, trying to figure out some different avenues. Changing things up is always a toss-up. Financially, you know how things go, but you know, such is life. Everything is fine, totally fine. Just having to make decisions and business decisions and all of that stuff, it costs money, doesn't it? Going through a lot of different avenues and doing things I've never done before as far as business is concerned. It's kind of scary, but it's kind of fun at the same time. Again, I'm not one to make really crazy financial decisions. So we're doing totally fine, but things are definitely different than they used to be, and that is for damn sure. Mentally, I'm doing fine. I go through ups and downs like everybody. I have good and bad days. I think the cool part about the way that I feel right now and like certain emotions and feelings that I have is that I used to really get caught in feelings and emotions, and if I had really bad ones, I would feel like, and this is me forever now. Whereas now I kind of recognize, because nothing ever has been forever, that I'm just, it's a bad day, not a bad life. If I have anxiety or if I'm struggling really bad, that doesn't mean that it's going to be forever. So telling myself these things and knowing them, not just saying them, but knowing them, like I'm going to be fine. If I'm having a really, really hard day, I just am really honest with my husband, and I'm really honest with my friends and my family. And I've done pretty good though. Like, you know, I have my ups and down days, and I also have PMDD. I just know that every month during my luteal phase and up until my period starts, brace myself, because it's gonna be a bumpy ride. Someone said, what is your favorite flower? Dahlias. Dahlias are my favorite flower. They are so versatile. They can look completely different from one dahlia to the next. They can literally be like the most tightly woven flower that you've ever seen, or they can be the most open, airy, fluffy, gorgeous. Like, dahlias are just to die for. I need to know what your favorite episode of The Office is. I mean, I feel like it's a crime not to say Dinner Party. I think Dinner Party has to be probably up there with everyone's favorites or least favorite because it makes you cringe and die. I love Diwali. That's one of my favorite episodes. I just think it's so funny. Stress Relief is absolutely hilarious. Like, I love that episode so much. I don't know if I could say that it's my favorite, but it's definitely up there. It's so freaking funny. I cannot. Every single time I watch it, I die. I think that's what I'll have to answer for now, because I don't know. I love them all. Do you still use a period cup? Yes. Yes, I do. Every month, baby. I love it. If you never saw my menstrual cup video, if you've ever been wondering and wanted to try one, I highly, highly recommend trying a period cup. I know they're annoying and disgusting at first, and I know there's definitely like downfalls to using them, but I cannot recommend it enough. So if you've ever been wondering and wanted to try one, highly recommend. I use the Salt Soft Cup, and I just think they're like a game-changing period product. How tall are you? I'm 5 foot. I'm very short. Someone said, what is the easiest thing to grow in a garden? I'm thinking fruit trees on a drip line, hands-off, beginner level. Ooh. Fruit trees are easy because they are hands-off, but they don't produce very much. So if you're actually looking to get some fruit, you won't for quite a few years. Easiest thing to grow, probably garlic. For us, that was probably one of the best crops we've ever grown, with the most yield and the most like satisfaction was growing garlic, because it truly is still feeding us till now. Fruit trees are easy, but you don't get, like I said, very much yield for like 10 years. Like, you might get like 6 apples on an apple tree. And then the next year you might get even less, or you might get more. Fruit trees are really prone to disease. I find that they're not as easy to grow. They're fine, but it just depends on the region you live in, how much sun you get, etc. So we don't get very much because we live in the middle of the woods. Strawberries are extremely prolific, and they are like you can't kill them, and they just come back every single year. We are literally like flooded with strawberries. We have so many. Oh, peas. That was one that was really shocking to me. Like the snow peas, the little like snap peas or snow peas, prolific. We planted like 200 plants. We were eating them all season. Do you guys have a trail cam channel? No, but we have uploaded many trail cam videos over on our second channel, which is The Sweet Life of Zach and Kristi. And we do like homesteading and stuff over there. So if you guys are interested, you guys can go check it out. And I will link the trail cam videos, and you can see that like bears, coyotes, deer, elk, we have all of that on our cameras, bunnies, squirrels, everything. Someone said, how is your journey with religion going? So I talked about it in a recent video that I've been looking to like increase my faith and spirituality because I'm a very skeptical person. If you guys want to hear my whole answer, which was probably like a 15-minute long answer, I'm gonna link the video down below and up here. But basically, like I grew up, I'll give you like the Cliff's Notes version is that I grew up in church and then I like fell away from God after my mom died. And then I just like, as time has gone on, I've been more and more interested in rekindling that because I find that I've been trying to look for sort of like quote unquote the answer to the missing link in my life for a long time. And I didn't know what that was. And then now I'm thinking, it's Jesus. I already can hear the comments before I say this, but like I feel the need to reiterate this because I think religion is such a divisive topic that if you don't believe, that's your right. For a long time I was extremely skeptical and didn't believe really anything, and then now I do. It's actually going really well. I'll leave you that other video so you can hear that like I literally couldn't be less judgmental towards people who don't believe. I actually quite often, the videos that I watch are debates between non-believers, between atheists and Christians or Catholics or Muslims, or like I want to hear differing opinions and different sides so that I can hear what people think, what they believe the truth to be, the debate between them, you know, like moral discussions. I love when people talk about like morality and objective morality and subjective morality. And I just find those type of topics to be extremely interesting and very thought-provoking. So I feel like I've actually, since I made that last video, I've had a great time learning about religion. I've learned a lot. I feel like I've gotten a lot of answers in my relationship to spirituality and to God, to Jesus, like whatever you believe. I personally believe in Jesus. Being bold in that and just saying it and not like shying away from saying that is comforting. It feels good to just be able to say that and not be afraid to say it because, you know, it's not very popular to say because I think there's a lot of things that are tied to that negatively. Like when you say that, Christianity is seen as you need to be like a good person and blah, 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 blah. I actually think that many people don't hate the idea of God. They just don't like Christians. And I don't really blame them because I think that Christians can give themselves a bad name a lot of the times by being very judgmental and evangelical. And, you know, granted, I hate to say I'm a baby Christian because again, I grew up in church. Like I'm not brand new to this or anything, but I think that a lot of times Christians can give themselves a bad rap because there's a very judgmental tone that comes off of a lot of different things. And, you know, I wish that weren't the case because I think that it looks bad on the faith. But, you know, that's what I talked about in my other videos, that it takes faith. Every arena takes faith, whether or not you're Christian, whether or not you're Catholic, whether or not you're atheist, agnostic. There's a book even out there, I haven't read it, but I saw the title of it and it's like, I don't have enough faith to be an atheist. And it's like, whoa, it's exactly true. You have to have faith to be an atheist as well, faith that nothing exists. Whatever the belief system is, there's a belief system nonetheless, even if that belief is that there is nothing. So I've come to that realization that in my, you know, extreme skepticism, it was just leaving me feeling very empty and hollow and like pointless in a way. And that's not to say that everybody would feel that way. I don't judge people who don't believe. It makes a lot of sense to me why people don't. But in that same token, I think that for myself personally, since finding the book and going back to scripture and looking into things differently than I ever have, I am left with a much more comforted psyche than I was prior to finding Jesus, because I was just trying to do it all myself, and you can't. I mean, you could try. I tried all the things. I did all the therapy. I did all the self-work that you can do, and it just got to a point where I was like, well, this isn't working. And so I talked to people and I was like, what does it mean to give it to God? Because I didn't know what the hell that meant. And they were like, you just quite literally say like, I can't do this by myself anymore, and I don't need to. It's like I don't have as much control over things as I thought I did. And I think that that's a really big part of how this has helped me, is that there's a lot that I can control, and I control what I can, but there's also a lot that I can't, and accepting that and realizing that has been extremely helpful for me and me personally. And again, I don't care. If you don't believe in any of this and you're like, this sounds like a bunch of woo-woo, hey man, we all have our own belief systems, and I do not push mine on anybody, and I don't want anyone else to push theirs on me, and I'm not pushing anything on you, because I ultimately want people to do what aligns best with them, and I believe what I believe, and that doesn't mean that you will either. I think that people come to things in their own time, and nobody comes to anything through hatred or through dogmatism, or you got to give people the benefit of the doubt. You also have to love people. That's what we're commanded to do. If you do say you believe in the Bible, you got to do what you're commanded to do, and we're commanded to love, not to hate, not to be shitty to other people, and that's what I'm gonna do. So it's been going really good. I watch biblical debates and podcasts and listen to books and reading C.S. Lewis' Mere Christianity right now. I really like it. I like all of it. I feel like I'm gaining a lot of knowledge from a lot of it. I still have a million questions, and when I have that question, I just look it up, or I ask somebody, or I read the scripture. That's how else can you know until you read it? And yeah, that's where we go with all that. What has been your favorite stage of parenting so far? Ooh, that is a good question. Probably now. Probably the one I'm in right now. And I could say that for every stage that I ever went through. I just truly, so far, each one that I'm in has been the one I liked the most. And right now, he's 4 and freaking hilarious. So funny. So inquisitive. Genius. Literally, I know every mother says this about their child, and I need you to understand something. I am painfully aware that every mom thinks that their own kid is a genius, and that likely most of them probably aren't. I actually think my child has some sort of photographic memory, or like it's not just genius in like life. He's not just a genius child. His memory is impeccable. It's unbelievable, remarkable, it's crazy. Like, I have no way to explain it other than to say that. Like, the other day, he was talking to me and Zach, and we were reading a book. He has this Pixar Buddy Block book, and he was like, oh, have you ever seen the movie Up? And I was like, yeah, you watched the movie Up. And he was like, have you seen it though? I know I've seen it, but have you? And I was like, yeah, I've seen it. And he's like, we watched it. Where were you that day? What were you eating at a restaurant? And I said, what? He was like, was it Cheesecake Factory when me and Daddy were watching Up? And I was like, what? So I went back into my phone and I typed in watching Up into like my text messages, you know, to like, so you can search your text messages, you know, and I saw, and it was like, you guys want anything from Cheesecake Factory? And then Zach texted to me like, oh, we're watching Up. Hopefully he doesn't cry or something like that. And I thought, this was September. And it was an unremarkable moment. Like, it wasn't one of those moments that was like, oh yeah, it sticks out in your mind because something happened. Like, no, nothing happened. It's just that Mommy went to Cheesecake Factory with her friend, and you and Daddy stayed home and watched Up. I just can't begin to describe to you, like, him remembering that I was at Cheesecake Factory when they watched a movie 6 months ago. Like, it wasn't even a moment. And he does this stuff all the time. He'll be like, one time we drove down this road and we were listening to a song. We were listening to Wonder Boy from Tenacious D. And we were driving to Red Robin with my niece Avery. Then like weeks or months later, we were driving down this road and he was like, oh, what was that song? Can you put on Wonder Boy? And we were with Avery in the car going to Red Robin again on this weird side street. And he remembered that that was the song he listened to. And it's just like, I know that that's maybe not that crazy or that remarkable, but you have to just get into my mind of like, I had no recollection that that had even happened. And he just does. He has the most insane memory, and I just don't know where he got it. His memory is like insane. Forgot to mention, he heard my phone number one time when I was telling it to the person on the phone when they were like, oh, and what's your phone number? It was like a doctor's office. I said my phone number out loud to them. Maybe a week later, he said, oh, your phone number is blah, 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 blah. He recited my phone number back to me. That's what I'm talking about. He knew my phone number. If you ask him like, oh, what's our license plate number? He's like, blah, 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 blah. He knows the license plate number. He knows Zach's phone number. And he's only heard them like one time, because when are we saying phone numbers? You know what I mean? That's what I'm talking about. This stage of parenting is my favorite, I think, so far, because he's so smart. He's so hilarious. He's so inquisitive and just a best friend. He tells me he loves me 150 times a day. He's so smart and funny and just, he's incredible. Like I literally love him so much. And I know every mom loves their kid, but I just really love him so much. He's just the light of my life. And I would say this stage of parenting so far is my favorite. And I'm guessing I'll answer the same thing on the next stage, because it seems as though I like every stage that I'm in the best. I will say I definitely enjoy having a kid more than I did a baby. Baby was really hard for me. Some people are the exact opposite, like my friend. She literally thrives with babies. She's so nurturing and she just loves having like a chunky little baby. And I don't know, babies stressed me out a little bit. Like it was a little hard for me, to be fair. And that's fine. Everybody just has their different stage. Kid for me is way easier. We just understand each other. He's just my best little friend. What are you most excited about in life right now? I think you guys know. I think you know. Pottery. It's changed my life, I swear. It has been one of the best things I've ever done in my entire life. I literally love it so much. I am starting a business, and it's in the works. It's gonna take some time. I'm very excited for that. Just in general, really looking forward to changing things up in my life and just kind of going where things take me. I've kind of been doing the same things for the last 13 years, and it's really exciting and fun to, I don't know, have some different ideas in the works and some challenges and just work on things that are new and exciting. And excitement comes with scary, but I'm really looking forward to it. Pottery is where my mind is right now. I don't know that I see that changing for quite some time. It's like, I think I mentioned this in a recent video if you guys watched, but it's something I've always wanted to do. My husband bought me the pottery class because he was like, I'm finally gonna push you to do it, because it was too intimidating to me. Not a lot is like that, where I get too intimidated and it freezes me, but that was one of those things where it just kind of froze me in my tracks. I was like, I don't know why, I just felt so like I can't do this. And to be fair, it is that hard. Like, pottery is so hard, and I wasn't wrong. It is hard. But it is the most rewarding as well. It's so rewarding. It is so, oh my God, I just cannot with it. It's my favorite thing I've ever done, and I cannot recommend it enough. I really cannot. It's so amazing. It was one of those things that I've always wanted to do, and now that I'm doing it, it checks every box. It really does. It's everything I could have imagined it being. I'm also thinking about what I'm doing right now, different art ventures, and I ordered prints today for my painting to test out the quality, and man, they're expensive. They are expensive. I thought prints would not be that expensive, but my goodness, yes they are. Especially ordering high quality prints. Holy crap, they are expensive. When do you estimate you'll be able to sell ceramics online? I'm hoping, depending on how things go, I'm hoping for spring. I have a whole bunch of things that I've made, and I'm just about to start underglazing everything and getting it in the kiln. We have the kiln getting hooked up this upcoming weekend. We finally scheduled it, me and the gal. She's actually somebody that does photography for me. Her husband is an electrician, and she offered that he could come hook up the kiln if she can use it to fire her pieces every now and again. And I was like, yeah, dude, absolutely. What a lovely trade. They're coming this upcoming weekend, and we'll have a kiln ready, and I'm gonna fire my first batch. I have not fired anything before. The studio that I do my pottery class at, they have been firing pieces for me, so I've actually seen a couple of my pieces bisque fired at least. They're really, really, really cute. And so yeah, I'm gonna get going on that. As soon as the kiln is hooked up, I'm gonna fire my first batch. I think I'm gonna do like a test batch though, with some of my like crappier pieces, just to see, like some of my first ones at least, just to, I don't know, kind of see how it works, because I've never fired anything before, and it is a really nice kiln that my husband bought. So I think it's pretty self-explanatory. It's got like kind of a step-by-step screen on it. It's not like you have to kind of guess and program it. It's sort of pre-programmed in a way to, you know, be able to fire. So I think it should be relatively self-explanatory, but we'll see. Hopefully spring. I'm making a lot of these pieces to look springy and summery with like a lot of wildflowers and like soft pastels and pinks and stuff like that. And then I'm going to be making things as well for like fall. So I have a lot of really, really fun ideas, but yeah, for now, hopefully spring. I'm not sure exactly what month, but that is the goal. Someone said, would you ever do a meetup with subscribers? Loving the new content. Oh, thank you so much. I would if it was like hosted by somebody. I've done a meetup in the past. I did one with Hourglass, and that was at BeautyCon, and it was really fun and I loved it, but it was, you know, it was planned in that way, and so I don't know if I would just do one myself because I don't know. I don't think anybody would come, to be fair. I really don't. Maybe a few years ago it would have, but now I don't think so. So I don't know. I probably won't do one. Maybe in the future, if I keep going with all of this and everything goes well, maybe I'll do one at like the flower and garden show. Maybe that might be a thing that might actually be offered if I, you know, become like a prominent gardener in the space or something. Maybe I'll do one at like the Northwest Flower and Garden Show. Like I went to Garden Answers meetup a few years ago, and that was really fun to meet her. I'm not on her level, and I don't claim to be. That's not what I'm saying. But I feel like something like that I could see myself doing, you know. Do I have any tattoos? No, I don't. Do you ever ask questions on other YouTubers' Q&A boxes? That's a good question. I do, actually. Depends. Usually just my friends, though, to be fair. Are you worried making your pottery a business will ruin the spark that it provides for you? Yes. That is something that I have absolutely talked ad nauseum to my husband about, because I really don't want making it a business to ruin what it does for me. However, here's my other side of that, and I know what it's like to make something you love your job, because I've been doing it for the last 13 years. And while I have lost the spark for makeup like I used to have, I still really like it. I enjoy it. I don't like it like I used to, in that it used to consume my thoughts. I used to literally be like a woman obsessed with makeup. And now that thing is pottery and art, and I've always loved art. So this isn't something new. I think making it your job can be really tough. I try to look at it like this, and this is kind of how I've had to like shift my mindset around it. I can either not make it my job, just keep it sacred, keep it what it is, and just do something else for my job that I probably don't like as much. Or I could say, YOLO, I only live once, and I want to do the thing that I love doing as a job, because it's like the one chance I get, and I have to do a job anyway. So if I could have that job be art, why wouldn't I do that, because of a potential maybe of it getting ruined for me because I have to do it as a job, you know? So that's kind of where my mind goes, is like, it would suck and I would hate that, but it's inevitable with anything you do. And I always want my job that I have to do every single day of my life to be something that I enjoy. And it always has been. It was when I worked in wildlife rehab. It was when I worked at the vet. It is when I'm a YouTuber with makeup, and it will be also with doing art. So I think it's inevitable that I'm gonna get sick of whatever I'm doing, probably eventually. There's always other mediums of art. And sometimes I got sick of painting for a minute there, and I was like, I don't wanna do this anymore. So I just didn't. And then you just come back to it. I don't wanna put things off because of a potential maybe. I wanna make sure that I'm, you know, the thing that I do every single day that I have to do to be able to sustain my life and my family, I would love it to be something that I actually enjoy doing, even if the risk of not liking it one day is there. Well, one day I'm gonna die. So, you know, fuck it. I don't want to die having put things off because of fear. And I'm naturally prone to doing that. If you were to visit one country, where would you go? Switzerland. Switzerland. Maybe this will be the last question that I have. And somebody said, what has been the hardest part about finding yourself again? For me, I think it is probably the guilt associated with being a mom, and feeling like I want to give my son every ounce of myself. And I don't want him to lack for anything at all. And the stuff that I want to do takes a lot of time, and it takes a lot of energy into other things like art. You know, it's not fast. It is a very slow thing, and it's not something that he can really hang around for. I mean, he can a bit, but not a ton. And I don't like taking time away from spending with him because I'm painfully aware of how short his childhood is, and I want to make it as good as I can. So finding myself means taking time to do the things that make me feel whole and like myself. And those things are what I'm doing right now, doing pottery. And my son loves it. He wants to be a part of it. And I think ultimately it is a good thing. It's a good thing for me to take that time away and for me to spend time doing the things that are good for me, but I feel guilty. So guilt is the hardest part of me kind of getting myself back. But nobody makes me feel that guilt but myself. So it's never come from my husband. It's never come from my family or my friends. It's always just come from myself. I think I heard them pulling in, so I should probably end this video. But I want to say thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. Wish I could show you what I'm working on, but it is a surprise for an upcoming really cool thing that I'm doing. So I cannot wait for you guys to see it. I hope you like it as much as I do. And I thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for hanging out with me and for asking me questions and for being awesome. And I will see you at my next video.